When we turn to Proverbs chapter 5, what we find here is once again the father is giving to his son this warning, this warning to pay attention to his words, to pay attention to the things that he's investing in him, the things that he is teaching him. And the reason why he's telling him to pay attention to these things is because he's about to warn him of all of the pitfalls of lust and all of the traps of lust and the things of immorality and all of those things that is going to cause him to stumble and fall and be hurt very badly if he falls into those pit holes and he falls for those traps. And he is warning him. He says right here in Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 1, he says, "My son, give attention to my wisdom." Give attention to my wisdom. Pay attention to my wisdom. I'm not just telling you these things for the sake of telling you these things, but I want you to understand this is words of wisdom that is warning you against the pitfalls that are ahead of you if you don't pay attention to them. Incline your ear to my understanding. So incline your ear to it. Listen up. Again, pay attention is what he's saying. He's just re-emphasizing that idea of paying attention and taking heed, inclining your ear to the things that I am warning you about, because the pitfalls of immorality and the pitfalls of lust and all of those things are very destructive. It may seem as though that sin has its fun for the season, but its end is the way of destruction. And so we need to recognize that. And the father is warning his son about these things. And so he goes on in verse 2. He says that you may observe discretion. Observe discretion. Well, what in the world does that mean? Discretion is literally you have the discretion to choose the right path. Which path am I going to walk down? Am I going to walk down the way of wisdom, or am I going to walk down the way of lust that's going to end in destruction? And so he says to observe that way of discretion. Observe discretion within your life. In other words, as you observe it, the Bible tells us to meditate upon the Word of God. And so what does that mean? I mean, we sit around with candles lit and, our hands up in the air, and we empty our mind of all thought and we hum or something like that. No, when we meditate upon those things, we observe those things, they're running through our mind. This is the wisdom of God. This is the Word of God. These are the things of God. And so he's saying observe them. Meditate upon those things. Meditate upon discretion. What's the right path that I need to be pursuing? What's the right direction that I need to be going within my life? And then he says, and your lips may reserve knowledge. Your lips may reserve knowledge. So what's in the heart of man is going to come out of his mouth. And so when you've been meditating upon the Word of God, you've been inclining your ear towards that understanding, and you've been paying attention to wisdom. What's in the heart is going to come out of the mouth when you have been observing discretion. And you're going to speak wisely when that lust comes your way and those temptations come your way and the adulteress comes your way, and you're going to say no. That's foolish. This is the way of a fool. It's going to ruin everything I have. It's going to ruin everything I am. It's going to strip everything away from me. No, I'm not following that path. Following the way of wisdom. I'm following God's path that leads to blessings. So as you pray this, just pray, God, give me understanding. God, give me discretion to choose the right path. Give me an understanding of your word. Give me an understanding of your ways. Fill me with you that I may follow.